Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm filming this video this time from my office because last time I did it in front of the wood wall thinking it would look really cool. And I guess it did, but it also made me look a whole lot more pale than I already am. So that won't be happening again. So now I'm in my office and maybe I'm still pale, but it's fine. So you should have received an email from me earlier with two things on it. Number one is this strength to stand schedule. It's got all the timing for everything. Mine has a whole lot more writing on it than y'all's, and then on the back it has the what to bring and what not to bring for the conference. So that's one thing that you should have gotten, and then also you should have received the spring calendar for 2022 with the dates, and on the back of that it should have all of the my contact info, and then the student Facebook, Instagram, and Remind 101. The best way to keep in touch is to sign up for all three of those things so that you always know kind of what's going on and stuff like that. So I'll give y'all a second to kind of get those things out. You might want to be looking at it as we go through. Um, but we're going to start with Strength to Stand since that's coming up next weekend on MLK weekend. So for those of you that have never been to Strength to Stand before or maybe never heard of it, this is a really good conference. Scott Dawson puts on an incredible conference each year. There's one in December and one in January. We would obviously have a whole lot more people that can go in January than right after Christmas. So this weekend basically is just full of different bands, different speakers. It's a really good time for our students and our adults to be poured into with the gospel and just to spend time in community with each other. And so it's always a really good weekend. Um, and I'm very thankful because last year we couldn't go because of COVID. And it's nice every once in a while to not do an in-house retreat where we as the adults and the leaders can also go and be poured into as well. So I'm very, very thankful that we get to do that again this year. So if you look at your schedule, you should have gotten an email from me a while back with the info about the hotel that we're staying on. If you don't have that info, then the name of the hotel that we're staying at is called the Summit at Country Cascades. It's a really nice hotel, and it's in a great location because it's close to the conference center that we're going to be at throughout the weekend, and it's also close to several different fast food restaurants because kids are always hungry, and so there's always options of food wherever we're at. Cheap food, which is always really good. This hotel also provides breakfast on both days that we're going to be there. Um, and I have called to confirm that because with COVID, you never know who's actually doing what. But they do have breakfast provided in our price at the hotel already. Um, so basically, just kind of a quick layout of the hotel rooms. There's two queen beds in each room. And then in most of the rooms, we don't know which ones yet until we get there, but most of the rooms also have a sleeper sofa in them. And so that was kind of the case last time we went to Strength to Stand. They told us that only some of the rooms would have pull-out couches, but then every single room had pull-out couches. So that might be the case here too. Um, we just won't know. The kids are already in rooming assignments, and they'll know that when they get there, who they're with. But more than likely, what will be the case is that there will also be a sleeper sofa in each of those rooms. So if you look at your schedule, starting at 7 a.m. on Saturday, January 15th, that's when we're going to meet at the church for registration and check in, all that good stuff. And so we're going to have a big U-Haul van. We're taking our vans with us. They've been serviced and all that. And we're not doing a charter bus this year. It's always a lot easier to take a charter bus, but also with the pandemic, for some reason, those prices have absolutely skyrocketed. And so it was going to be, if we did a charter bus, it was going to be close to like $250 for Strength to Stand per person. And we didn't really want to do that. So we're going to take our vans, and which might be a little bit easier this year as well. So we'll check in around 7, and our plan is to leave at 7:30 a.m. that morning. And remember that we will gain an hour or lose an hour. I always get confused on those two. I think we lose an hour there. Going up to Chattanooga, we're going to eat lunch in Chattanooga at the Hamilton Place Mall. That's usually where we've gone in the past for strength to stand. It's really easy because, again, it's like right off the interstate, and there's several different options in the food court. Um, and my favorite thing about going on a trip with these students is that we get to a food court and there's like 20 different places to choose from, and every single one of them go to Chick-fil-A. So that's always kind of funny to me, but whatever. Um, so between 3 and 4 p.m., we're going to check in at the conference center, and then we're going to go straight to our hotel and unload everything. They'll have just like a little bit of time just to kind of chill from the drive over there and everything. And then we're going to be back at session one at the conference center at 5:30 p.m. And so you can see by session one and by each of the sessions who's performing that night, who's speaking, all that good stuff. And so then after session one is over, it says 7:30 p.m. is when free time is going to start. So I've just gone ahead and put dinner for that for us because we don't really want to be rushing when we get there. Um, and so 7:30 p.m. is going to be dinner. And where we're going to eat on Saturday night is there's a little area by our hotel that has several different fast food places to choose from. There is a Burger King, a Taco Bell, Arby's, there's a Firehouse Subs. And so what we've done in the past is just park the vans there, and it's all in this little area. And so then the students will just get in groups and choose which one they want to go to. We'll have some time to eat. Um, and then at 10 p.m., we'll have church time. We're going to do that at the hotel, either in a conference area in the hotel, or what we've done before is just take a big spot in the lobby. Um, and this is a massive hotel, so there's tons of space to do that. And so church time is just a time for all of us to come together and kind of talk about, what we got out of the conference so far, maybe if the speaker said something that stuck out to us, all that good stuff. And then 11 p.m. is in rooms. Under no circumstance, unless the student is in like a major emergency, should they leave their rooms after 11 p.m. Because the last thing that we want is for people to complain that our kids are being rowdy and all that good stuff. Um, so 11 p.m. in rooms, and then 12 a.m. is lights out. Most of the time, what I've noticed about these kids is that by the time that 12 a.m. gets there, they're like exhausted, and so they're already before that in their rooms, like ready to go to bed, which I'm very, very thankful for. So I don't want to speak too soon, but that's the plan. So and then Sunday, January 16th, that is going to be our full day of the conference. And so we'll wake up at 7 and have our quiet time, our personal devotion, all that good stuff. And then we'll eat breakfast at the hotel, and then get ready and head to session 2, which is going to be at 8:30. And then at 10 a.m. after session 2 is over, that's when we're dismissed for the day for free time. And so what we're going to do for lunch that day is head over to the same place that we ate at in 2020, when last time we went to Strength to Stand. It's two restaurants that are right beside each other. One of them is called The Diner, and it's just like an old-fashioned diner with cheeseburgers, chicken fingers, all that good stuff. And it seats a lot of people. And then there's a Mexican restaurant, pretty big Mexican restaurant right beside it. And so last year we just, again, parked the vans right there, and then the students would choose whether they wanted cheeseburgers or Mexican food, and then we would split up and eat lunch. And so after lunch is over, we're going to go over to the island, which is the place that it's close to our hotel again, but it's got some shops, it's got some games, it's got a big Ferris wheel, and it's just a really cool place for the students to hang out. And everything is kind of like all together in that area. And so I don't have to worry about, if we go to downtown Gatlinburg like we've done in the past, which we're not doing that this year because there's going to be so many people there. But it was always stressful knowing, like, okay, one group of students is all the way at one end of Gatlinburg, the other's all the way at the other. So the island is really nice because everybody is right there together all the time. So we'll spend the day there, and then Before session 3, we'll have some time to go back to the hotel, change, take a shower, all that good stuff. Um, and then we'll get ready for session 3 at 5:30. Um, and so session 3 is kind of the big night of worship that we usually have there. And then after that, we're going to go back to the island and eat at Mellow Mushroom. Um, this is a place that we went to the last time we went, and it worked out really, really well because the students could just get in groups and split a big, big pizza. Um, and it was pretty fast getting us all in and out. And so that dinner, Sunday night dinner, is going to be provided for by the church. So that's one less meal that y'all will have to worry about. So Sunday dinner is going to be provided by the church. And then again, 10 p.m. in the hotel church time, 11 in rooms, and 12 a.m. is going to be lights out. And then Monday morning, we'll wake up, have our quiet time again, eat breakfast, get ready, and go to the conference for our closing session. And then we'll head for home at 10 a.m. And so then on the way back, we'll stop again at the Hamilton Place Mall. We'll eat lunch, and we should arrive back at First Baptist Alabaster between 4 and 5 p.m. That afternoon. So what I'll do is send out reminds, going and coming and like throughout the weekend, just kind of, where we are, what we're doing, all that good stuff. So with that being said, before I forget, if you have not subscribed to the Remind 101 text messages, then on the back of your calendar, there's a way that you can do that. You just text that number, and then I think you have to answer like whether you're a parent, a student, or whatever, and then you can be signed up for that. That's the best way to get information on trips, because I'll send out kind of like, let's say we get stuck in traffic on the way back, which has happened time and time and time again. Then we can send out a remind and just say, hey, we're going to be, maybe 45 minutes later or something like that. And that'll come straight to your phone. So if you haven't signed up for that, then I would definitely encourage you to do that. And then the last thing I want to mention about the schedule, not only are those times kind of like flexible with, free time and all that stuff, because the conference might end earlier one day, it might end later one day. But the main thing I want to point out is with COVID right now, so many places have been all over the place with staffing and all that kind of stuff. I've called each of these restaurants that we're going to plan on going to, and as of right now, they're totally fine. But as we know from the past, I don't even know how long it's been since COVID's been here, whatever. But as we know, things can change. We do have backup plans for food. One year they were there, and this has been years ago, and by the time they got out of the conference, and this was at like 11, this was one of the later conferences. We're not doing that this year. I think like nowhere was open except for like a Taco Bell, and they had no food basically. So, we don't ever want to get into a situation like that. So, if something does happen, our hotel is right next to a food mart and a Publix. And so Dory and I have already decided that if push comes to shove, we will go to Publix and we'll just make sandwiches. We don't see that happening. But, with COVID, things are crazy. We don't want a last minute change to come up and our students not be able to eat. And so, that will never be an issue here. We'll always have a backup plan in mind. And then also, I know some of these dinners we might be eating kind of late. But if you flip over to the back on the what to bring list, it'll show you that, snacks is, if you want to bring snacks, that's totally fine. Ever since I was in the youth group till now, I don't know of a trip where a student has not brought snacks, because they're teenagers and they love to eat, and so do I. So it's perfect. But snacks for their hotel room if they want it. If they don't want it, then that's totally fine. That's totally up to them as well. And also the church will be bringing some snacks for the hotel rooms for at nighttime. But if they want anything special, feel free to pack it. That's totally fine with me. So the rest of the what to bring list, pretty typical that we've normally done: a Bible, notebook, a pen, toiletries, anything that you need to not smell bad. Please bring that with you, because I don't really want to be around a bunch of teenagers that smell bad. We're just not going to do that. So Soap, shampoo, deodorant, all that good stuff. And then also, this is part of Strength to Stand's packing list, but enough modest and casual clothes for the entire conference, which is 3 days and 2 nights. Keep in mind that when we are there, we've checked the temperature, and again, that could change, but it's never going to get above 52 degrees while we're there. So you might want to bring some warm clothes. You definitely want to bring some warm clothes. They're having a snowstorm there right now. We don't expect that to happen when we get there, but again, things change and we're going to be flexible. But just bring enough warm clothes for the entire weekend. And then money for 4 meals. I think my computer just froze. I don't know if it did or not. Can y'all see me? Okay, cool. We're just going to keep going with it. So money for 4 meals, and that's breakfast is provided in our cost by the hotel, and then remember Sunday dinner is going to be provided by the church. And then optional is snacks and spending money for either the Strength to Stand merchandise or whoever's doing the concert that night, their merchandise as well. Students don't have to buy that stuff. I never do, but sometimes the student hears a band for the first time and they're like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite band of all time. And they want to go buy every single one of the items at their merch table. Totally fine with me. That's up to you as a parent. And then what not to bring. Number one on that list is a bad attitude. That is probably my biggest pet peeve on this planet, because if one person starts to complain about something, then somebody else is going to start to complain about something, and it just ruins the whole experience for everybody. These students aren't coming on this trip. They haven't been excited about this trip to come and hear other people complain about what we're doing or what we're not doing. So we're just not going to hear any of that this time, and it's not going to be an issue. TVs or gaming systems is not allowed. Vapes, tobacco, alcohol, anything illegal, drugs of any kind, weapons of any kind, guns, knives, anything like that is not going to be allowed. Pranks or any questionable clothing, anything like that, you guys can read all that stuff. And then also, if you have not provided a copy of your 2022 medical release forms, then please do that as soon as possible. Those can either be found on the church website or in the main office, or I have some in the youth room if you guys want to pick some up this Sunday as well. So that kind of covers all of Strength to Stand. If you guys have any other questions about that conference, then just shoot me a text, give me a call, let me know, and I will answer that the best that I can. So now we're going to move over to the spring calendar for 2022. And on my page, it's frozen. It still says that the time is going on, so I'm going to assume that it's still recording. So, like, I'm showing y'all this calendar right now, and y'all might not even be able to see it. But this is the spring calendar for 2022 that you should have in your email. So this past Wednesday night, we just started our Wednesday night Bible study on the book of Hebrews. So we're going to be doing a big sermon series on that for the next few weeks. And then, again, the first item on there is our Strength to Stand conference next weekend that we just went through. So February 4th, that's going to be an event that Amber is hosting for the parents and the children's ministry. And so basically what that's going to look like is it's going to be a fundraiser to benefit us going to our student camp this summer, to Fuge Camps. And so she's going to need people to wait the tables. She's going to need childcare for this event, all that good stuff. And so all the proceeds from that event is going to go to help us do our Fuge Camps this summer. And so that's going to be February 4th. You guys are going to get some more information about that in this next week coming up as well. And then February 20th, the kids are out of school that Monday for President's Day. So a lot of you guys will probably be out of town, but for those that are here, that Sunday we're just going to go to Oak Mountain Lanes for an outing. We're going to play laser tag, play in the arcade, all that good stuff. That was a big hit this past summer, so we're going to do it again. And then March 4th through the 6th, it's going to be a big weekend. That's our Disciple Now weekend here at the church. The theme is going to be light for that weekend. You guys should have gotten an email about it last week. The sign-up sheet is online. It's on the Instagram. It's on the Facebook page and all that good stuff. We've already had several students sign up for D Now, and I've been emphasizing this to them, but also this is a great weekend to bring friends. Even if they go to another church, we've had students go to other churches for D Now. Like anybody that they want to bring, we love to have visitors and guests this weekend. Um, so please encourage your students to invite people for that. Um, and we will have some more info on D Now about the speakers and the band and all that stuff coming up this next week as well. But just go ahead and put that date on your calendar, and we'll be good to go. Um, Probably definitely an unpopular opinion, but we are not going to do host homes again. And really, that doesn't have as much to do with COVID as it does just some other things. A lot of churches today are backing out of host homes for several different reasons. Um, Host homes for D Now, as sad as it might be, because that was always one of my favorite parts for sure. But in several churches, that's becoming a thing of the past. And so, definitely not a very popular decision amongst the students. But last year we didn't do host homes, and the amount of focus that our students had throughout the speaking, throughout the Bible studies, throughout the Sunday morning service was so much better. Um, and the response time was a whole lot better too. And that's why we're there, is for students to make decisions. And so for students to accept Christ as their Savior, for students to, hopefully be called into missions or to ministry, that's always a big weekend for that. And so I think last year they were able to go home and get a good night's rest. And as crazy as that sounds, like they were much more focused and much more aware in Bible study and the worship services and all that good stuff. And I think just overall, it made for a much more smooth weekend. We will still have host families, just kind of like we did last year, to provide snacks, to help with decorations, all that good stuff, to help with the D Now competition. So if you want to be a host family, then go ahead and shoot me a text and let me know. Some of y'all have already expressed interest to me about doing that. Or if you want to help with D Now in any way, then go ahead and shoot me a text and let me know about that. And then the next weekend, that's the next weekend, March 13th, we're going to have an outing we're going to go to Breakout Birmingham, which is the big escape rooms downtown. This is another thing that we did this past summer. And that was actually one of the most popular outings that we had, so we're definitely going to do that again. Me and Dory completely showed up all the kids, and they were super impressed with our skills, obviously. So we're going to do that again, and it's going to be a blast. So, and then March 20th, that's going to be a church-wide fundraiser. And since Amber's doing a fundraiser for us, then we're going to do a fundraiser for them going to their kids' camp this summer. So March 20th is going to be the church-wide soup and chili cook-off. And so we'll be able to, if you want to sign up for that and volunteer for that, that's going to be on March 20th. And that's, I think, a week before spring break. We didn't want to do it the week after that just because nobody will be here. And then in April, didn't plan a whole lot in April because Haley and I do have a wedding coming up in April. So, can't really be doing a whole lot of stuff. I hope y'all understand that one. We will still be doing, Wednesday nights and Sunday nights and all that good stuff. And then May 15th is going to be senior graduation Sunday. The one event that is not on here yet that we're still trying to get a date for, and that hopefully we'll get a date for Monday, is Barb Sugar Showdown. That's the big fundraiser that we did last year for Fuge Camps. And so Haley and I are going to do our cake tasting with Barb on Monday. And so then hopefully we'll be able to get a good date for that. But right now we're looking at like early April for that, or toward the beginning or the end of May for Barb Sugar Showdown. So, but I'll let you guys know an exact date on that as soon as we find out. And then our service times are down here at the bottom. And then remember, on the back, there is all my contact info, all the student contact info, and all that good stuff. So if y'all have any questions at all about the calendar or about Strength to Stand or anything like that, then, just let me know. call me, call the church office, anything like that, and we'll be able to answer your questions. Um, the last thing I will say, if you haven't paid yet for Strength to Stand, then you can do that. You can either write a check, you can pay with cash, or you can pay online through the online giving. But we do ask that you pay obviously before we leave for the trip. So, but any other questions, just give me a call, email me, let me know. And other than that, that is all I have. So thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all on Sunday morning.